Kiren Rijiju. For a time, that name meant everything to Arunachal Pradesh. It symbolized hope. It was the promise of a voice from the mountains that would finally be heard in the corridors of power in Delhi. He was supposed to be our man in the capital, the face of state's aspirations. And he was given every chance imaginable, every powerful ministry, from home affairs to law and justice, every platform, from primetime television to the floor of the parliament. He was handed the kind of political capital that leaders from the northeast can only dream of. A golden ticket, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to uplift his people and his state. But after a decade in power, what did Arunachal get in return for this unwavering faith? The answer is as vast and as empty as the silent valleys of our state. Nothing. An absolute deafening nothing. Why? Because when faced with a choice between his people and his party, Kiren Rijiju made his decision crystal clear. He chose the BJP's national propaganda over the pressing, painful problems of his own people. He traded a lifetime of legacy for a few years of political relevance. A historic opportunity, squandered. Just turn on any national news channel, any day of the week. There he is, Kiren Rijiju, the ever-present talking head, passionately defending the party line, deflecting criticism, and launching attacks. He became the BJP's most reliable soldier in the television studio wars. But you will never see him on TV fighting with that same passion for the issues that haunt our state. Not for the rampant unemployment that is forcing our youth to leave home. Not for the constitutional protection of the sixth schedule that our people have been demanding for decades. Not for the defense of our unique tribal rights and identity, which are under constant threat. No. His energy, his airtime, his entire political focus was reserved for one single target, attacking Rahul Gandhi. It became his full-time job, his key performance indicator in the eyes of the BJP High Command. The pattern is relentless and revealing. In 2021, he dismisses Rahul Gandhi as a spoiled brat. In 2022, he patronizingly declares that Rahul is not a child. By 2023, he's echoing conspiracy theories, linking him to George Soros. Year after year, the attacks became his signature tune. For this, Delhi loves him. He is celebrated as the BJP's loyal and ferocious attack dog. But back home, the state he was elected to represent, forgotten. A distant memory in his political calculations. And never was this abandonment clearer than in December 2022. The APPSC paper leak scandal exploded, destroying the futures of thousands of our brightest minds. Years of hard work, family savings, and dreams of a stable future, all turned to dust by a corrupt system. The youth of our state rose up. They poured onto the streets in the biggest protests the state had ever seen. Their anger was righteous. Their demands were just. They were fighting for their lives. And where was Kiren Rijiju, the most powerful leader from our state? He was missing in action, not a single strong statement. No visit to the state to meet the protesters, no pressure on the system for accountability. Just a deafening, calculated silence. And let's not forget the biting irony. At that very moment, he was the Law Minister of India. The man responsible for the country's entire justice framework remained silent, while a generation of his own people had their futures stolen by a criminal conspiracy. For a law minister, his silence wasn't just a failure. It was a crime of moral negligence. This was our state's biggest youth movement in a generation, a cry for help from his own home. And Kiren Rijiju chose the comfort of his Lutyens bungalow over solidarity with his own people. He chose Delhi. Then there is the long, painful saga of the sixth schedule. For decades, Arunachalis have demanded this constitutional shield to protect our land, our culture, and our unique identity. It's the strongest protection available, and our neighbors in Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, and parts of Assam have it. But the state is left with the weak and largely symbolic Article 371H, which offers no real power or protection. With every passing year, our identity is at risk of dilution, our lands at risk of alienation. The demand for the sixth schedule is not a political game, it is a matter of survival. Kiren Rijiju sat in the Union Cabinet, the highest decision-making body in the country. He had a seat at the table where such historic decisions are made, but he never fought for it. He never made it his mission. He had the power to champion this cause, to educate his colleagues, to build a consensus, and to deliver what his people have been asking for. He had the power, but he chose not to use it for our state. It was a clear calculation. Short-term loyalty to the BJP High Command was more important than the long-term security and future of Arunachal Pradesh. And what about the Arunachal Pradesh Freedom of Religion Act, or AFRA? In a state with a large and growing Christian population, this controversial law, seen by many as a tool for harassment, is a ticking time bomb. For years, church leaders have demanded its repeal. Tribal organizations have spoken up, fearing it could be used to disrupt social harmony and target minorities. The voice of the people was loud and clear, but from Kiren Rijiju, the most prominent face from the state in the ruling party, utter and complete silence. Why? Because speaking up for his own community would mean upsetting the powerful Hindutva lobbies within his party. It would mean rocking the boat. And so, once again, when the choice was between his party's ideology and his people's peace of mind, he chose the BJP over the state. He ignored the fact that political calculation of our state is different from the politics of Hindu-majority mainland India. The tragic truth is that despite being Delhi's poster boy for the Northeast, he had almost zero real influence on improving governance back home. On the crisis of unemployment, he had no vision. On the decades-old Chakma Hajong refugee issue that needed a firm hand from the center, he offered no solution. On the rampant corruption that siphons away development funds, he turned a blind eye. He failed to guide his own state government, failed to bring accountability, and failed to use his central power to solve local problems. He became a national face, but at the cost of becoming a local failure. And here's the ultimate devastating irony of his political gamble. Kiren Rijiju has spent the best years of his political life burning bridges, making personal enemies, and relentlessly abusing Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party on every platform available. He made himself the poster boy of anti-Congress rhetoric. But what happens if the political winds change? What if Congress returns to power tomorrow? The game is over for him. The BJP in opposition will have no use of him and will be used and discarded like many. They will find new attack dogs. And the Congress party? They will have no reason to trust or accommodate the man who made it his mission to vilify their leader. He will be politically untouchable. He will be left isolated and powerless. And Arunachal, having invested all its political capital in one man who gambled it all away, will be left with absolutely nothing. No voice, no influence, no access. Arunachal needs both BJP and Congress for its development. Think of what could have been. Kiren Rijiju could have been the Northeast's biggest leader of his generation, a statesman who rose above party politics. He could have been the bridge, uniting the BJP and Congress for Arunachal's common good. He had the stature to secure a massive industrial package and create jobs. He had the influence to finally deliver the 6th schedule. He could have built a legacy that would last for 100 years. But he chose to be just another BJP spokesperson. And when the history of our time is written, he won't be remembered as a statesman. He'll go down as exactly that. A footnote, a wasted hope, a monumental missed opportunity. The man from Arunachal who got to the very top and then forgot his own people. Our state deserves better. Our future cannot be sacrificed at the altar of Delhi politics. Arunachal needs leaders, not spokespersons. Do you agree that Kiren Rijiju wasted his historic chance? What should be the #1 priority for the next generation of leaders from our state? Should it be the fight for the 6th schedule, creating jobs for our youth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. Share this video, and let's make sure that the voice of Arunachal is finally louder than the politics of Delhi.